What up, everybody? It's your boy BigDonSkillz bringing you another video today. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. We are going to be jumping into another video about ranking the Generation 1 Pokemon sprites. Once again, your Pokemon Green, the original Japanese version, is going to be on your left side, while the Pokemon Red and Blue version that a lot of us played is going to be on your right side. So once again, we're going to rank these. We're going to have a good time. Once again, if you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our goal to 1,000 right now. So let's get it going. All right, first on the list, we got the homie Ghastly. Now, I've always really liked the way they tried to illustrate Ghastly in the original game because it's clearly a ghost, right? Going through Lavender Town, that's a pretty eerie part of the game. But I just really like how it's like pixelated, but it's supposed to be like spread out. And I think these both look really good. The green version looks pretty solid, but I think the red and blue, I would give it the slight edge because it's a little bit more menacing. It's got that angled look, which if you're playing the game, it's gonna be looking at the player, right? The Pokemon that it's facing. I'm gonna give this a slight edge to the red version, but I think the green looks really good as well. Haunter, man, I just, like I said earlier about Ghastly, I really like the way they gave this aura, this dispersed effect to the Ghastly line. I like both of these as well, but I may have to give the slight edge may have to go again to red version because the Haunter from green looks great, but I think its eyes looking kind of up and away, it's a little bit different than the prankster kind of peekaboo that Haunter normally is. But once again, both of these are great. I mean, good job. Now, my boy Gengar, one of the coldest Pokemon of all time, a fan favorite of many. The purple and black is just a dynamic color duo. You've seen this Pokemon go through a lot of design changes, especially in the earlier days because of like the color palette that it had going for itself. And once again, I really like the way they designed Gengar for here. Red and blue version I think looks a lot better in my opinion. The green version looks good, but there's something about that angled look. Like I said before, I'm a sucker for the angled look when it comes to the Pokemon, especially because when you're fighting it, it's looking towards the Pokemon that you're using. So I'm gonna give this one to red and blue. I think this is a classic design that a lot of us remember growing up as a kid. Gengar being like a boss Pokemon in my eyes. Great job overall for this line. Onix, the Brock favorite, a Pokemon that I did not know it was as bad as it was. I thought Onix was so strong because Brock was ridiculous and they give you no tools to really fight him depending on your starter. So this is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I've always thought that the red and blue version has a lot of nostalgic to it. There's definitely a bias there. The green version, I actually think they did a better job with the rock design. The detail that they did with the rocks is actually really good. A lot more detailed than the red version, but the face is a little bit more awkward. They're both really good, but that green version detail though, slight edge. Next, we got Drowsy, one of the most unfortunate Pokemon because it is just completely overshadowed by Alakazam. The fact that Alakazam exists, especially in Gen 1, Drowsy and Hypno get pushed to the side. But these are such a underrated Pokemon to me. I've always thought their designs were really underrated. It's just something that's cool and kind of dopey about it, but kind of sick at the same time. The red and blue version, I really like the hands. They're more outward, they're facing towards you. Green looks pretty good too. I don't have any issues with that one, but I think the red's face being slightly more orientated towards you, slight edge to red. But I would say these sprites today, they've been pretty like close to each other. I wouldn't argue either way for most of these sprites, to be honest with you. My boy Hypno, a same issue as Drowsy. I definitely want to give this one to the red and blue because I've always thought the fur around his neck underrated. Like I said, him holding the I don't know what you call it, but him holding the hypnotizer in his hand. I'm gonna call it a hypnotizer. All right. I just like that Hypno better. And once again, the angles, they really mean a lot once you're playing the game and you realize how the Pokemon's kind of facing you. Gives it like a 3D dimension, a third dimension to it. But I would give this one the red and blue for sure. Krabby. Man, I forget about this Pokemon sometimes. It's definitely overshadowed by a lot of water Pokemon from the later generations. This is the same exact design, but the hands are in different places. I would give this one a draw. This is a very basic Pokemon too. It's just a crab. Dang, Kingler though. This is a top tier sprite. I think a lot of the very massive, like in your face designs of Gen 1, that's where they really kind of nailed it with the design. This green version is really cool and I've never seen that before until today. And I like how it's forward with the hand, but then the other claw is back. So it gives like a double effect. But the red and blue having two right in your face, this is a draw. I think these are both really badass. Like they killed it with Kingler. Voltorb. All right, the best designed Pokemon of all time, the most original, the clever, the most coolestest is the Voltorb, number 100. We are already on number 100. I just like the red and blue design a little bit better. This is such a basic Pokemon, it's really hard to mess it up. And I think they tried to do a little too much with like the shadow and then like his eye structure on the green version. I'm gonna give this one the red and blue. Simple Pokemon, not too much to talk about. Electrode. I mean, once again, I just love how basic of a design this Pokemon is. It's literally a inverted Pokeball, right? With eyes and a mouth. And that's the charm of it. Like that's all Electrode is. I would give this one a draw because I really like both of their expressions on their face. That green one's more like, hey, I'm gonna get you. And then the red and blues laugh like, what? You got me facing this Pokemon? Like, who's this punk over here? I'm about to beat. I give this one a draw. I think they both look really good. Execute. This one is an interesting one right here. I don't know. I never knew how I felt about this design. It's such a basic design, but then I look at this green version and it's kind of cool because they're all smaller with different dimensions, different angles, facing out different ways. But the red and blue one's kind of going for that too, maybe slightly less detail, but then has the big one in the center. And so now I wonder, does Execute have a big egg in the center? I don't know, because I'm doing this live. I don't remember. But these are both pretty cool. I would have to give this one a draw. Red and blue one is iconic, but I think how, like they're literally like scrambled eggs kind of on the Pokemon Green version. Give this one a draw. Good job on this. Wow, Executor. Man, these are really similar. I forgot how good this design looked too. It may not be everybody's favorite Pokemon, but they did a sick job with the sprite artwork for this. This is like a kind of a high tier sprite design. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give this one a draw too. Three faces, kind of doofus like, you know, but three different dimensions. Green did a really good job. Red and blue did a good job. It didn't even need a redesign, to be honest. Cubone. I forgot about this design from red and blue. I remember as a kid, I used to think that Cubone was a dog. Well, obviously it is, I think. I used to think it was a dog and that bone was its arm. Like I thought it was its arm and paw, if that makes sense, if you zoom down on it. So I never really recognized it being a bone. But that green version is the iconic Cubone design. He's sad, he's got the bone in his hand. You know, he's got the skull of his mother, I believe. I'm gonna give this to Pokemon Green. The red version didn't accurately convey what it was trying to do. Instead of it swinging forward, it looks like it's a dog crawling at you. And I don't think that's what they were going for. Marowak. Wow, this is a Pokemon I forgot about too. I thought it was a fairly basic design. I thought Cubone looked a little bit better. Marowak's a weird one. That green version doesn't look good at all. That's pretty bad, I'll be honest with you. The green's gonna lose by default. Red and blue, it looks good, but it's just very plain and basic. This is not the best design of red and blue. This is a lower tier sprite. It's not terrible, but it just didn't do the best of job, to be honest with you. But all right, that is the end of the video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by today, hanging out with your boy BigDonSkillz. I appreciate every single one of y'all. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are playing more games. We got more content coming through. A lot of people have been loving the Pokemon, and we're on the road to 1,000. So once again, we'll get it done. Appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Deuces.